Call our public hearing to order at this time. We have 4 items under our public hearing tonight. Item number 1 is a request to annex. Mr. Stoltz.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2023-32, be it ordained by the Mayor and Council for the City of Fort Oglethorpe for the annexation of tax parcel number 0210091-113 Gate Street, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, requested by the owner, GRK Investments, LLC, so as to annex said property into the corporate limits of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, to change the corporate limits for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, to amend the official zoning map for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this ordinance to annex the property there at 113 Gate Street, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia? Mayor, doesn't appear anyone's present.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Item number 2 on our public hearing tonight is a request for a zoning variance. Mr. Stoltz.
Yes, sir. Ordinance number 2023-33. Be it ordained by the Mayor and Council for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning variance for tax parcel number 0002C102, 1913 Lafayette Road, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, 30742, requested by the owners, John and Jamie Jordan, so as to approve the operation of a kennel within 200 feet of a residential structure, to approve the zoning map variance of said property, to amend the official zoning map for the City of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of ordinance number 2023-33? Yes, ma'am. If you would
like to speak in opposition, please.
Yes, ma'am. If you would go to the podium up there and state your full name for the record. Yes, ma'am.
Members of the council, how are y'all?
If you would state your full name, please.
My name is Linda Price.
Thank you, ma'am.
I reside at 204 Corey Circle, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, 30742, apartment 204 at Battlefield Village Apartments. A little over a year ago, John and Jamie Jordan started a business called Muddy Paws, and we've had nothing but dog barking, constant. It was pandemonium when they moved in. The dogs were constantly barking all the time. Dogs were getting out all the time. She had a terrible problem with that, and I couldn't even walk in my front door. Okay, our apartment is 22 feet 4 inches. Our front door is 22 feet 4 inches from her property line. I have pictures here to validate that. If the councils would like to see, I can present that. She's also selling miniature schnauzers, I believe, because she has a sign. And there's 2,000 puppies for sale. I don't think I included that in there. Smell is getting bad. I can't sit out on my front porch. You know, my front door, there's like a little yard area for me to sit if I wanted to. I can't do that. Some days it smells really bad. A couple of times she's left her dogs out at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. These big dogs barking. They are 12 feet from my living room window, and they're 12 feet. The property line is 12 feet from my living room window, and it's 12 feet from my bedroom window. And there's been numerous times when she's just left them outside. In the beginning, it was a total nightmare. The police have been called, numerous complaints. I tried not to. I was just so hoping her and John would get a hold on this, and it just continues to be on and on. Right now, she's trying to be really good because she's going for a variance, but I can honestly say to this esteemed panel that once she gets her variance, it's going to be status quo again. I was actually sitting outside, but on the parking lot across, and I can still hear the dogs inside the building. Just bark, 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 bark. And when they're outside, they're barking at nothing. You've got one excited dog that gets the rest of them all excited, and they're all barking now. She has big dogs and small dogs. Okay? And it's just, I actually have some audio I'd like to play for you so you get just a taste of what we have to put up with. You'll bear with me, I'll turn this on. On and on and on and on. For sometimes it'll be for an hour. And I've actually called to file a complaint, and I was told that, you know, I really would have to go through quite a process, and I'd have to have a whole lot of people, you know, and file all these complaints. And I'm like, I just want to live in peace and harmony. I have a right to live in peace and harmony. My son has to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning to be at work at 6. And one time the dogs were barking at 3 a.m. There was another time my son had the TV up so loud, and I'm back in my bedroom, and our bedroom's just like parallel like this. I mean, you know, the living room's here, and my bedroom's here, and there's a bathroom in between, and I couldn't hear my TV, so I went out to say something. Can you please turn down? And I realized the dogs were barking. That's why he had it up on 60. And I had mine up on 48. I'm like, I don't want to play volume more. So I just turned my TV off and tried to go to bed. But there was a couple of times the dogs would start barking at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and he has to be up at 5. Okay, and we're 12 feet away from their property line, and the dogs have torn up the yard. I know this because in the first 3 or 4 months that she was there, they didn't have blinds. And I asked the maintenance guy, can I put up blinds? I'll go buy them. I'll go buy a blind, a tarp, and at least so I can walk in my front door in peace, okay? And they said that that's her fence, but they discovered after doing a little homework, that's their fence, and that's her property line, and I can't attach anything to her fence. So I said, well, I don't know what to do, because I can't walk in my front door. And to this day, you know, sometimes they'll hear me, and they'll hear my sons, and they still bark. It's just not conducive to peace. I have no peace. I have 365-day dogs all the time. I love dogs. I've had dogs growing up all my life, you know? But I don't need to, I'm sure neither one of you esteemed council members here would like to have, you're 12 feet away, Honorable Council, sir. And would you like to hear dogs? Would you like to turn your TV up to 60 so you don't have to hear the dogs, so you can hear your show? Maybe you'd like to sit and read a book in your living room. Can't do that. Can you walk in and out of your house without a dog barking? Not happening. And it's still going on today. And I tried to be peaceful. I was opening up my windows for the first time that we could. It was a beautiful day. And just barking. So I went over there, I said, excuse me, Jamie, I mean, you know, I haven't opened up our windows. I can't even open up my windows and read a book in peace. Can you please get a hold of these dogs? I said, Caesar Milan is a pack leader. You need to be a pack leader. He had 40 dogs in an inner city, and not one of them barked. You know, if you've ever watched the Caesar Milan show, he was a pack leader. And I said that to her. You need to be a pack leader. You can have as many dogs as you want, but be a pack leader, please. Because I am 12 feet from you. I can throw a rock over her fence. I am that close. And I just, you know, and I looked this up and it says all structures outdoor runs must be set back 200 feet from residential zoning areas. Okay? I looked it up. It is not even 25 feet from my front door. It is not even, it's 12 feet from my living room window and 12 feet from my bedroom. And I'm telling you that, you know, if she gets this ordinance out, because I'm just going to have to move. And the property owner's not going to be happy because he's losing a good tenant. We've been here since 2016. I love Fort Oglethorpe. I'm not moving. I'm not going back to Florida. I want to stay here. So I would go to another apartment. But why should I move when she's breaking an ordinance? Okay. And furthermore, I never had any complaints from any neighbors or anybody about us living where we just live quietly. You know? We don't have young children. We don't have a whole lot of pets. I have some cats, and that's it. I stay to myself. I try to be a good neighbor. I go to food banks sometimes, I bring home extra food for it, and I give it out. But this is, I'm sorry, council, I'm at my wit's end, okay? It's not fair, it's not right, it's destructive, and, you know, it's inappropriate. And so I spoke my piece. You can keep those pictures if you like. If you like to go out and take measurements and get more accurate measurements, I'm pretty sure you'll be very close to what I have. Those photographs are in my phone, so those are for you. Thank you so much for allowing me to address the council, and you all have a nice evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is there anyone that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of 2023-33?
I would like to speak.
Yes, sir, if you would.
I'm John Jordan. I'm the co-owner with my wife of Buddy Boss. Only as far as anything.
Did you get a name,
Mr.
He spoke, his name is John Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The only issue that we've had has been from one neighbor. We've been there now for about 10.5 months. We moved in there, there was a problem. The first thing she's talking about, we have done a lot. I've got pictures also to show you some of these of the things. She did the tarp. As soon as we realized any of the dogs were causing problems. And the big thing we had was a group of people who live in the apartment who in the evenings, they're young kids, they go out there and make a lot of noise, turn the radio on, and pretty much smoke pot. We've told the police that. There hadn't been a whole lot done. I think they may have tried to catch them a few times. The dogs are out there. They smell it, they hear them, they do bark. Jamie's grooming area is right next to that back area. She's very good at opening that door, telling them to be quiet. The one event that she did speak of when she was talking about her son, it was, we let a dog that had stayed out, had hid under the hedges there. And basically, about, I think it's about 11 or 12 in the mornings when he called, cussed my wife out, and she went back up there and got the little dog in. So that's the experience that we've had with the neighbor. But I want you to see this. This is the yard she's talking about, the play area. You can pass these down. These are, and you see there, I think you see in the back of that one, there's tarp around the full area of that. There's also a concrete boundary. These are, pardon me there. Those are just some heartwarmers for the vicious animals. But we went out of our way to help quieten that down. Like I said, tarp around the full area. When she's talking about being inside, the building itself in 3 sides is underground. So it's a very well isolated building. I hate that it's as close to that as it is. Dogs do bark, they will bark. She brought in an ordinance. If you read the ordinance, that's been the biggest issue with that, is the outside runs. We have no outside runs. None of these dogs stay outside. So they're in.
This is not, but the picture you just showed us, that's not considered an outside?
No, not a run. They're considering a run to be kennels outside like you would a run area. So that's what, I guess, that was the initial problem. When they initially started, this had nothing to do with the grooming report. Absolutely nothing. The minute we made when I came, we were going to start selling some puppies. And already have the state license, came to the city to get the city license available. At that time, nobody knew anything about license for selling pets. Apparently, there's not one available. Everything's under a blanket kennel license, which we do have through for like I said, just trying to do the right thing there. We were not able to find anything. That's where it's kind of went on to this now. So we go out of our way to make sure the animals are cared for and also preserve the neighbors to make sure that this doesn't. And like I said, we've had one issue, and there is an apartment complex right behind it. So there's also a problem too. There's other 2 groom shops within a block of her shop that are within 200 feet of residential. So that, unfortunately, I've got the pictures of that also. You can look at this, which I don't care about that. The problem I care about is that everybody lives in peace and we do anything we can to keep it quiet so that she can. She deserves to have peace. But these are Paws, which is across the street up on the hill, and also Dusty Paws, which is on there also, which is down the road from us. And you can see their business zoned to other residential areas. And we never would, if there was, had been a problem, because everything, we have full license to be a grooming and kennel facility. If there'd been a problem that time, all they had to do was say, and we would have found a different location. And we've done everything we can to make it as quiet and as, as, I guess, as condemning as we can be for the neighbors, so. And anything, I'll be open to any council member giving any ideas that they thought would be, help getting any board off. But she does really good, and as far as, she's not Caesar Veron, there's only one of those guys, but she has been a groomer now for 16 years. She's been a kennel tech, and she's terrific with animals. I'm bragging on my wife, but she's terrific with animals. So I think she really does work a lot of effort. So that's what we're doing.
And I'm looking up this Caesar guy. I gotta know.
You know what it is?
You've never heard of Caesar Malone?
No.
Dog
whisperer.
Oh, okay.
Dog whisperer?
I need to watch more television.
No, you don't.
Okay.
And here's, I'll leave these for you too. These are all our license areas and everything else. And I used to work for the Petco down there and the Pet Sense. So I got a copy of their dealer license too, which is also everything, like I said, the only thing that comes out from Fort Oglethorpe is basically the occupancy tax and then the certificate of occupancy. That's the two things we've got that City of Fort Oglethorpe offers. And that's just kind of, that's the definition of the state there, to what a dealer's license is and also what a kennel license is. So that's the only way to, I mean, it's by looking at it, what the Fort Oglethorpe offers and what the state offers, there's a lot of contradiction with what the two say. So it's kind of tough to translate this.
Mr. Jordan, may we keep these pictures or do you need
Yes,
them
ma'am.
back?
Sure, ma'am.
This is the state.
Okay, this is 101 Riddle Street. Yeah, this is 101 Riddle
It's the
Street,
same.
same.
Riddle is the
Side
that
street.
runs adjacent to this one. That business has an upstairs and a downstairs. I think the upstairs used to go to the Riddle at one time.
That's for, okay. How often do you have outside dogs in the evening?
We close up at 5 o'clock. If she has anybody stay over, it's usually 5:30 or 6 to finish doing any groom dogs. But she brings them in, I mean, during the summer, probably 7 o'clock. They don't, we've never had a problem with them being out late like that. There was that issue. And I'll openly say that was an issue. One guy was hiding under the bushes back there. And he came out and realized we were left. He started barking, and her son apparently getting up her. I can understand that being upset too. So she came and got the little guy and put him inside. So, but all the dogs stay inside, except when they go out and do something play there. They just put them play.
And that's during the day that they're out.
They stay outside.
Are the dogs staying inside at night?
Yes, sir. All the dogs stay inside at night.
Okay. In kennels or just run
Actually,
around?
the younger dogs have a huge room. They just play room for them. Of course, they go to bed about 7:30 or 8 a.m. But they have a play area where they can socialize. And then any of the older dogs will go up in the kennels because they don't seem to socialize too much. So we keep most of the dogs in the kennel. And any dogs, of course, that we were boarding, which boarding had been a huge thing. I think we may have had 7 or 8 boarding dogs since we started it. So it wouldn't have been a big deal for us. So it's mostly just groom dogs.
When somebody comes to us for a license for something like this, do we go out and check? I mean, because this seems like it's kind of obvious that it's within 200 feet
Yeah,
of a
so,
residential. I
we
mean,
can have Officer Goddard come up and talk about how this kind of kicked off, I believe, and with those ordinance requirements, because I think that's, yes, I mean, the building official, that is the job of the building official, to go out and check and make sure that it is within it. But this process, I think, actually started with code enforcement, this particular instance.
How you doing, Mayor, City Council? It did actually start off with a complaint of barking dogs. Went by, noticed there was some signs for selling puppies. I didn't hear anything from when I did go around the property. However, we did confirm that they were selling animals. And that is correct as far as part of the UDC does say that all kennels, all structures outside, my apologies, outdoor runs must be set back 200 feet from all residential districts or uses. So that went forward to Rick Quarles with building inspections.
And that's when we're alerted of it, is when we go out and make those measurements.
okay.
Did you look at the other 2 kennel grooming places? to
I'm
see if-
unaware of them having kennels. I know we do have some other dog groomers in the area. I haven't received any complaints from those.
But now that we are aware, we'll be happy to go out and check on those as well. Now that
city?
Mr. Jordan has made us aware. Yeah.
Are them other ones in the city?
There are some issues with when it comes to those things, so we'll check those addresses and we'll go out and make it. If it's ours to police, then we certainly will.
Officer Guerin, Officer Goddard, as I understand it, the ordinance requires that there not be outdoor runs within 200 feet of a residential lot. Is that correct? It doesn't say that you can't have a grooming facility within 200 feet of a residential lot.
No, it only says, this is specifically for kennels.
Yes, sir. It's an outdoor run, a kennel type facility next to a residential area. So that's the issue that we're dealing with. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right.
So I'm clear, this request for a zoning variance is to be a kennel. Is that right?
Let me,
This is a request for a variance for the kennel.
Needing the variance because of the run?
Yes, sir.
yes. It's the operation, according to the ordinance in front of you all. That's for, I just wanted to make sure I was
The
reading.
operation of a kennel.
The operation of
There's
the kennel.
a difference between a kennel and a grooming facility.
correct.
That's the point, okay.
And Mr. Jordan does have a state license for a kennel. However, that doesn't qualify him to avoid the city ordinance.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
Got one back there.
Yes, do you have, if you would, sir, if you'd like to speak either in favor of or opposition of this ordinance, if you'd come to the podium and state your name, please, sir.
So, my name is Michael White,
Thank you, sir.
and I am the owner of the residential area that they're talking about, and I wanted to come here to, go to bat for the tenants, that are there. Ms. Price is not the only one, that we've received a complaint. I didn't want to clear that up, that she's not the only one that, might be the only one that they have heard from, but we have heard from multiple tenants about the parking. I'm also a veterinarian, so I understand, kennels and all that kind of stuff, and dog runs and all that. And I mean, I don't like barking either, and I understand them trying to, make a business out of it. But it is an issue for the quiet enjoyment, of the tenants there.
Okay.
And I also don't know who Caesar.
Thank you.
You kind of should, probably.
just to be clear, Mr. White, you own Battlefield Apartments?
Me and another guy, business partner for Franklin.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Any other questions?
Mayor, doesn't appear anyone else is present to speak either in favor of or opposition of this ordinance for a zoning variance.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Item number 3 is a request for design approval in the overlay district. Mr. Stoltz.
Yes, sir. Ordinance number 2023-34, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment for design approval in the Lafayette Road overlay district for tax parcel number 0003F0372884 Lafayette Road, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, requested by the owner, Say Krupa LLC, doing business as Royal Inn, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this ordinance? Yes, sir. If you'd go to the podium and state your full name for the record. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. The last meeting is like in a drawing or something like that? I haven't-
Sir, wait, go back. If you would state your full name for the record, we're recording this.
My name is Manish Kumar Patel.
Okay, Mr. Patel, thank you, sir. Now proceed.
Thank you, Mr.
Like it
Patel.
designed.
Thank you.
It's the same one.
Yeah. Come back to the wall then. The same one. Yeah.
Oh, we can pass it down.
Mr. Mayor, do you want this?
I
I think it's the same. Yeah.
just two different.
Okay.
Yeah, we looked at the picture, so you want to kind of tell us what you're planning on doing?
So
You want to tell us about it?
it's just like store buildings or something. It's like already 1 year, it's like stopping working because it's no idea, like zoning area, something like that. So I'm stopping work and then last meeting is like properly like in a drawing and like picture something and then after like decide. So that's why it's like in a drawing. Just like model storage room, like just like some stuff in the inside and that's it.
Okay.
The stop work wasn't it because they didn't pull a permit?
So the work had begun, and then the stop work order was put on it because it was in the overlay district. Because,
Okay.
so based on this, if it was in a different part of town, I don't know that it would have necessitated the planning advisory board process, but because it was within the overlay district in that historic area, that prohibits certain designs without y'all's approval ahead of time.
And this already went through planning and zoning?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you attaching it to an existing building?
Yes.
And Mr. Patel, if I'm correct, these drawings, the planning advisory board asked you to do these drawings to give them a clearer picture, is that correct? you didn't meet with this body, you met with the Planning Advisory Board about, back in October, right? Okay. Did they see these drawings, or did you submit these drawings to Mr. Quarles later?
No, I'm just later.
Oh, okay, so the Planning Advisory Board did not see these drawings?
No, he's not city drawing. He's like, you say architect like drawing something.
Right.
Like just how can you look at like, like see there like finish, like not finish, but just you did a approve so I can work start working.
Sure, I think, but what I'm asking you is that did you submit these to the Planning Advisory Board, the other entity that you met with in October, or did you submit these to Rick Quarles after that meeting?
Yeah, after that.
Okay, so the Planning Advisory Board has not seen these drawings? Okay, thank you.
Last meeting is like Mr. Rick is you can see like properly like drawing. I can see there like the next meeting and how can look at and after approve and then after I'm go to work and just finish and everything Yeah.
So help me understand it. I see where it was denied by the Planning Advisory Committee. Did they deny it because they? I mean, that's a question we can ask them, but did they deny it because they didn't have the drawings? So they couldn't see what it was going to look like?
Yes.
Or did they have a material reason beyond that?
There were no drawings at the time that the meeting was held in October.
Okay.
And this item had already been tabled once.
Yeah.
And so that was the decision that was made at that body. But he did submit, Mr. Patel did submit these to Rick Quarles after the fact.
Okay.
And Rick gave them to me, and I believe they were included in y'all's packets last week as well.
I saw it, yeah.
So the Planning Advisory Board did not have this when they made their decision.
Yeah.
For storing, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of ordinance number 2023-34? Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Item number 4 in our public hearing tonight is a request for approval of a certificate of appropriateness. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2023-35, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, an application for a certificate of appropriateness for tax parcel number 0003101, 13 Barnhart Circle, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, requested by the owner, April Harvey, so as to approve the application for a certificate of appropriateness for alterations to a residence located in the Fort Oglethorpe Historic District structure and other related purposes. Is there anyone that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this ordinance? Yes, sir, if you'd go up first. If you would, state your full, complete name.
My name is Miller. My wife, Harvey. We own the house at 13 Barnhart Circle.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your name again, sir.
Millard Ramsey.
Millard Ramsey.
Correct. And my wife, April Harvey. We own the house at 13 Barnhart.
Thank you, sir.
Certainly.
Please proceed.
We bought this house in 2013. It was in pretty bad shape when we bought it. We spent a considerable amount of money just getting it to the condition where it was livable. We've continued to try to do upgrades on it. And the kitchen has been the holding up. The kitchen is not insulated. This used to be a bed and breakfast, and there's no insulation. They actually built the kitchen on top of a porch. And so it is virtually impossible to heat to do. We want to remodel the kitchen, obviously shore up the porch, put insulation on it. When this was rejected by the Planning Commission, it was, I believe, in part because our major objectives to the plans. So we had modified the plans to actually incorporate suggestions that she made at the Planning Commission. That's the plans that the commission has in front.
Sort of. The old plan was to move these 2 windows 6 inches up so we could get countertops. And they said we couldn't move an historic window, but you can see this section, and then there's a close-up of the next. It's this beautiful 1980s edition that looks like a trailer. We've had everything redesigned with contractors and the design firm and everything, and we want to add 2 windows to this area. I've worked for 10 years in a kitchen with no windows. It's a dark hole. Lovely. And then on the next page, you've got the elevations for the new windows by the design firm. And then after that, you have
The estimate of details
for the window.
They'll be custom built, there will be glass in them.
It's a historic window, custom designed for the space and the house to match all the other windows. They've actually done some other window work in the neighborhood, and you can't tell the difference when you drive by. They look great.
But we'd just like to get this approved so we can get started working.
Ms. Harvey,
Yes.
have you and your husband reviewed the historic preservation ordinance?
We have, and we thought our first plans, there's a lot of strongly encouraged that we don't move the windows, but we felt we were able to.
But I think the actual code states it's discouraged that you make radical changes.
And we didn't feel our change was radical.
We felt that gave some leeway to the planning commission, but the planning commission really read that as just to mean you can make no changes to an existing one.
But it says in the things that on the non-historic structures that they just ask that you blend it to the neighborhood, and that addition is a very 1980s non-historic structure. It looks terrible right now, so I feel like it all would be an improvement.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this ordinance 2023-35? Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. That does conclude our public hearing for tonight.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, sir, you can't just go up and speak. Come over here.
You've done that already. I know, I said, I need to say anything about it.
We good, Mr. Stoltz? That concludes our public hearing for tonight. This time we'll call our regularly scheduled council meeting to order. Mr. Stoltz, if you would, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mayor Earl Gray.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Derek Rogers.
Here.
Councilman Jim Childs. Council Lady Rhonda James.
Here.
Councilman Craig Crawford.
Here.
Council Lady Paula Stinney.
Here.
Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Let the record show we do have a quorum for tonight's meeting. This time we'll do our invocation and our pledge. Ms. Stinnett, if you would, please do the invocation. Ms. James, lead us in the pledge, please.
Please. Okay, begin in the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Lord, thank you for bringing us together this evening to do your will for the city of Fort Oglethorpe. Lord, we praise you for providing all those who serve, and we pray that this council may serve you with all we say, think, and do. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we will set the agenda for tonight's meeting. Ms. Hughes, are any additions or deletions?
No, Mr. Mayor.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Agenda is set. Next item on the agenda is the minutes from our previous council meeting. Members of council had an opportunity to review the minutes from our regularly scheduled council meeting held on October 23rd. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Ms. James. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is ordinances. Ordinance item number 1 is the third and final reading of ordinance number 2023-31. Ms. Stoltz.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2023-31, an ordinance to approve the 2024 fiscal year budget for the city of Fort Oglethorpe. Be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, an ordinance to approve the city of Fort Oglethorpe 2024 fiscal year budget, to provide for the provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to vote on ordinance number 2023-31.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. Is there any discussion? Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, under ordinances, first reading of ordinance number 2023-32. Ms. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2023-32, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, an annexation of tax parcel number 02100911113 Gate Street, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, requested by the owner GRK Investments and LLC so as to annex said property into the corporate limits of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to change the corporate limits of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related matters. Purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Item number 3, under ordinances, is the first reading of ordinance number 2023-33. Ms. Stoltz.
Ordinance number 2023-33, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning variance for tax parcel number 0002C102, 1913 Lafayette Road, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, requested by the owners John and Jamie Jordan so as to approve the operation of a kennel within 200 feet of a residential structure, to approve the zoning variance of said property, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Item number 4, under ordinances, is the first reading of ordinance number 2023-34. Mr. Stoltz.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2023-34, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, a zoning amendment for design approval in the Lafayette Road Overlay District for tax parcel number 0003F0372884 Lafayette Road, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, requested by the owner Say Karupa LLC, doing business as Royal Inn, to amend the official zoning map for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, to repeal conflicting ordinances and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Item number 5 is the first reading of ordinance number 2023-35. Ms. Stoltz.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2023-35, be it ordained by the mayor and council for the city of Fort Oglethorpe, an application for a certificate of appropriateness for tax parcel number 0003110113 Barnhart Circle, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia 30742, requested by the owner April Harvey so as to approve the application for a certificate of appropriateness for alterations to a residence located in the Fort Oglethorpe Historic District structure and other related purposes. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1, under new business, summary report for the November the 7th, 2023 Fort Oglethorpe Municipal General Election. Ms. Hughes.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The qualifying dates for the City of Fort Oglethorpe's 2023 municipal general election were August 21st, 2023 through August 24th. The offices of Mayor, Ward 1 Council Member, and Ward 4 Council Member were to be placed on the ballot for the 2023 general election. During the qualifying period, the current office holders, Mayor Earl Gray, Council Lady Rhonda James for Ward 1, and Council Member Derek Rogers for Ward 4 were the only candidates who sought qualification for those seats. Pursuant to Georgia Code, a notice of election cancellation was posted, but our city clerk rightfully wanted it memorialized for the record so we could remember what happened and when. So we're putting this in the minutes just so that it's noted that the 3 candidates were deemed to have run unopposed for the offices for which they qualified, and they will be sworn in January 2024, and their term shall run from January 1st, 2024 until December 31st, 2027. And congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Mr. Crawford. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 2, recommendation to renew the medical, dental, and vision insurance contract for 2024. Ms. Hume.
Thank you. We are recommending, our HR director is recommending that we renew our medical, dental, and vision insurance contract with Cigna for 2024. This is also based on the recommendation of RBA, our broker. This plan is in the amount of $1,531,314, which does include an almost 7.4% premium rate increase. However, though the amount increased, the premium itself increased, the overall amount of the contract has actually gone down for the coming year because of changes in individual employees' coverages. They just sort of changed some of their coverages which offset that rate, and some of the changes in the actual coverages for the different plans. There will be no change in the rates for dental or vision coverage, and there will be no change in plan design for any of the coverages.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. James, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 3, recommendation to renew the city's workers' compensation insurance coverage contract for 2024. Ms. Hume.
Thank you. Our broker, Star Matthews, who is our workers' comp broker, has recommended that we renew our coverage with Key Risk for the period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024 in the amount of $131,358 coming out of both the general and water and sewer funds. This renewal premium is a 17.4% decrease from last year's rate of about $159,000, and that is due to a decrease in claims compared to the expected claim cost of an organization of our similar size, and due to some previously higher claims rolling off of our coverage.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4, recommendation to procure special event insurance for the winter skating season. Ms. Hume.
So our winter skating season opens on Saturday, and we found out in the last couple of weeks that our provider does not actually cover skating rinks because they're sort of a specialty operation. So we do need to have coverage in the rink for the period of about November 14th through January 31st of 2024 when our skating season closes. Our broker, our insurance broker, solicited bids from other carriers and has recommended that we go with Mesa Underwriters Specialty Insurance Company for that about 3.5 month period in the amount of $5,860.40, and that also includes any additional fees or taxes or anything that may come. It does have a $2,500 deductible, and if approved, would be coming out of the general fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Ms. James. Any discussion?
Next year, since we got this year and it's separate, will it just automatically be added into our other policy for the next season?
So our current insurance provider does not provide coverage for skating rinks, so we'll have to get a specialty policy, and we'll probably just have our broker go out for bid to make sure we're getting the best possible deal every time.
And the season kicks off on Saturday, and it'll be open Generally, I mean, I guess check the website, but
Yes.
generally,
And I'll talk about that in my city manager, because
Okay.
I've got that on there, so that we can make it fun and not tied to insurance.
okay.
With a lot of North Georgia people trying to ice skate, I'd say we need the
I
insurance.
think
And pillows.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
They might remember.
Item number 5, recommendation to procure one 2023 Ford Explorer utility vehicle with a police interceptor package. Ms. Hughes.
Thank you. On October 17th, one of our police officers was involved in a vehicular accident, and the vehicle was damaged beyond repair in the line of duty. The vehicle involved was a Ford Explorer. It was a 2021 model, I believe. And if we replace that unit, which we need to replace the unit for the fleet to remain as it is, if we replace that unit with a like unit, we can take out the emergency equipment and the lighting package, because those were undamaged. We can install them in the vehicle and save some taxpayer dollars there. The police department solicited quotes from several vendors for the purchase of a 2023 Ford Explorer utility vehicle, and all of that equipment will be able to be transferred to that vehicle. Prater Ford offered the most responsible quote, and it can provide it within 1 week. If approved, this would be $39,997 out of the SPLOST fund. And I should note that because this was an accident that occurred during the officer's duty, the total expense incurred will be offset by any proceeds once we go through the insurance process.
Which should cover it all.
One hopes. Yes, sir.
I have a motion to approve.
So moved, sir.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Stinnett, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 6, recommendation to procure an emergency vehicle lighting and equipment package for a police vehicle. Ms. Hughes.
This is a different lighting and equipment package. At the last council meeting, the city council approved the purchase of a 2023 Dodge Ram for the police department's support services division. This vehicle will need emergency lighting and equipment, just in case it does have to be used in patrol. The police department solicited quotes from 3 vendors, and West Chatham Warning Devices provided the lowest responsible quote, and if approved, that would be $5,380.33 out of the SPLOST fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, sir.
Motion by Mr. Rogers, second by Ms. Stinnett. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 7, recommendation to renew an annual contract for sanitation services. Ms. Hughes.
You pretty much said it, Mr. Mayor. This is the annual renewal of our sanitation services trash pickup annual contract with BFI Waste Services, doing business as Republic Services of Chattanooga, in the estimated amount of $822,000. This number was actually put into the budget for the 2024 year. We've been in a contract with Republic Services since 2007. This will be the first of 3 one-year renewal options if approved, and the renewal includes a rate of $20.04 per month per residential and commercial unit for once weekly service, excuse me. It's a 4% increase, or 77 cents from the current rate of $19.27 per month. And the city has about 3,400 residential and commercial units. And if approved, this would come out of the SPLOST fund. Oh, excuse me, not true, out of the general fund. Just kidding.
Thank you,
Important
Ms.
distinction.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Item number 8, recommendation to approve a contract to build 6 pavilions at Gilbert Stevenson Park. Ms. Hughes.
Over the last year, the city of Fort Oglethorpe has been building some pavilions at Gilbert Stevenson Park. Originally, the council had approved on in September of 2022. The council approved the staff to construct 13 new pavilions in the park, 2 big ones and 11 littler ones. Since that time, staff has constructed 5, with 1 concrete pad also being constructed. In an effort to get these pavilions finished before the pickleball courts are finished so that the park is all done at one time, and because the Public Works Department has had some staffing issues, they're a bit short-staffed at the moment, which makes it hard for them to be able to complete the project in-house. It's being recommended that we contract out the remaining 6 pavilions. We solicited quotes from 4 contractors, and Tinker's Construction Homework submitted the lowest responsible bid. Public Works Department is still going to help by framing in the concrete pads that have yet to be poured, and helping with the plans and everything like that. But the goal, and every contractor was made aware that they had to meet the aggressive timeline to have the pavilions completed by the end of December in 2023. The contractor will use the materials that the city has already purchased, so there's no additional cost there. They're just going to be performing the labor. So if approved, that would be $44,375. Let me do that again. $44,375 coming out of the SPLOST fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. James, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 9. I'm sorry, number 8. No, it's number 9. I had it right to start with, didn't I? Notification of emergency rail system repair and motor installation services for the Andrive pump station. Ms. Hugh.
Recently, our Andrive pump station, which is the city's largest pump station, experienced a failure of the rail guide system. So essentially what happened is that those rails dropped the motor, one of the 2 motors that operates the system, into the bottom of the well. The motor was able to be repaired, the rails have to be replaced. And this was an emergency that had to be done really quickly because the station requires 2 working motors in the event of excessive or heavy flow, so we got to keep both of them running. So this is just a notification that R&W contractors performed this reinstallation and repair in the amount of $20,754.74 coming out of the water and sewer fund.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rogers, second by Ms. James. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10, notification of the procurement of emergency HVAC repair services for units in the police and municipal court departments. Ms. Hugh.
In late June of this year, I'm sure you all remember when a transformer blew and it was a big loud noise, and then power in City Hall went off. I know that you remember because you were standing in your driveway and called me. It caused a big power failure throughout City Hall, and that surge compromised several sections of the HVAC units, specifically those in the police and municipal court departments. In the months following that outage, insurance claims were pursued and temporary repairs were performed, and that was fine for a while. But during one of the recent inspections by the insurance adjuster, as we were navigating this process, they found mold in the vents, which could not be allowed to continue. So we had to make that repair quickly. And that mold was attributed to that initial failure, but the insurance adjuster had been coming out, so staff was not living in that for quite some time. We just had to fix it quickly. The variable frequency drives of those units had to be replaced, and mold remediation was performed to ensure the health and safety of all in the building. And again, though this is $9,200 coming out of the general fund performed by Air Comfort, the total expense incurred will be offset by any insurance proceeds that are received.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. I have a motion to approve.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 11, recommendation to award a contract for wastewater utility shaft rehabilitation, repair, and replacement. Ms. Hume.
Thank you. As part of an ongoing effort to control our inflow and infiltration points in the city's wastewater basins and lines, manholes throughout the city's wastewater system have been identified as needing rehabilitation, repair, or replacement entirely. The city solicited formal bids for this project, and 2 were received. CTR Coatings submitted the lowest responsible bid in the amount of $442,785. If this contract is approved, 561 vertical feet of manholes will be rehabilitated, repaired, or replaced completely. The type of work to be done on each point depends on the severity of what's going on and depending on its condition. It's expected that this will take about 6 months to perform start to finish once the contractor has mobilized, and this project will help us decrease the amount of flow that is sent through our city's wastewater system too, and that will help us lessen the monthly cost that the city incurs from the city of Chattanooga to treat and process our wastewater. If approved, again, that's $442,785 coming out of ARPA money.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rogers, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda, City Manager's Report. Ms. Hune.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So as Mayor Pro Tem Rogers mentioned, we've got winter skating coming, and those hours are going to, starts on September, I'm just all wrong with numbers and dates tonight, on November 18th, this Saturday. The weekly schedule will be posted on the city's website, and it will vary according to basically the school schedule, but generally speaking, we're going to be open not on Mondays, but every other day of the week from about 10 to about 10 at night. During the school times, when school is in session, we'll be open from 2 to 10. We're super excited about winter skating. I can't wait. We are able to book private parties. I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be hilarious. I'm not going to do it, but I'll go out there. But we've had so many people just ask out of nowhere, people from all over. They're so excited about it. So I definitely encourage everybody here to come out. Go skating. It's going to be really fun. And I'm so very grateful to Public Works, Public Utilities, and Rec and Leisure Services, and our trustees for all the hard work that you all did to put that rink together in record time. It looks wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. The city will be closed on Thursday, November 23rd, Friday, November 24th in observance for Thanksgiving, and then on Saturday, all of you have plans because you're coming to the Christmas parade and market on Saturday, November 25th. The Christmas parade lineup starts at 5, parade starts at 6, and the market starts at 6 as well. It was a big hit last year. Council will be lighting the tree. So please come out and enjoy yourself. And if you want to join the parade, applications are still available online. You can submit them to our Economic Development Events Director, Taylor Hutt-Wagner. And finally, happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for Jim. And I'm thankful that you all are engaged and came here tonight. I love seeing that. So, and thank you to the staff. And that's it for me, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Hune. Next item on the agenda is Mayor and Council comments. Hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving. It doesn't seem like it should be here already, but here it is. So everyone be safe and eat as much turkey as you can. Mr. Crawford.
Yes, sir, thank you. I just start off, I know everybody knows this past weekend was a big weekend, and it's kind of the one time a year that we remember our veterans or think of make it a priority, but I mean, I know that should be a daily thing, because without those guys or gals, we couldn't be doing what we do and across this country. And thank you to all of our veterans in attendance or see us on the TV or whatever. Thank you. And Molly touched on our employees, how, and we got several of the department heads here, that y'all, all your departments come together, and not only like at Labor Day at the Post on this ice skate, and she shows it, talked about different times throughout the season, and but y'all are like family to us, and part of this week was we had one long-term employee had his retirement dinner, and Mike Housley, and but when we lose some employee like that to retirement or the circumstances that might be, it's just like losing a family member and going elsewhere. So thank you for all what you employees do for us, and like I always say, you make us look good up here and make our jobs a lot easier, and we really appreciate you guys. And I'll end by congratulating Derek, Rhonda, and the mayor. Looking forward to working with y'all the next few years, and congratulations, guys. And
Thank you, sir.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I'd echo some of that, or all of that, but also thank you to the veterans. There's a lot of frustrating things you see on the news these days, and it can be discouraging. But you can rest assured that patriotism is alive and well at Battlefield Elementary School in Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, because I went to the veterans program that they had on Friday, and my daughter's 10, she's a 5th grader, and it was incredible. It was an absolutely beautiful program, and they did a great job. So I'd like to give a shout out to, I can't remember the teacher's name, but the lady that teaches music up there, man, she worked. She worked. She was all over the place. It was a great program, and so shout out to them. Thank you to the veterans, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Ms. James?
Well, happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and if there's somebody that you know that's alone this Thanksgiving, invite them to your house and feed them a meal, because we don't want anybody to be alone, especially here in Fort Oglethorpe.
Thank you, Ms. James. Ms. Stinnett?
Yes, sir. Wow, that's all I can say about this past weekend. Friday evening, a sold-out show at St. Gerard Catholic Church as we hosted a patriotic evening with James Rogers. Not a seat available in the house. It was dynamic. I think some people up here will agree with me on that because they were there. And then Saturday morning, the VCC volunteered, as they have for a decade, at the race that we hosted here in Fort Oglethorpe for the Fort Oglethorpe 5K. And then that afternoon, what a way to top off the weekend, the largest ever Veterans Day Parade in the city of Fort Oglethorpe. Chief, about 2 miles long? Yeah. People everywhere. The review stand, retired 4-star General B.B. Bell on the review stand. 2 colonels, Glenn Pope and Ray Atkins. 2 captains, Navy captains retired, Mickey McCamish and Billy Hewitt. It was a grandiose day as the city of Fort Oglethorpe celebrated military heritage that we were founded upon with the 6th Cavalry and all those who serve. Our veterans were definitely honored that day. We had a grand parade and are looking forward to having an even bigger parade next year. So thank God for our veterans and all those who serve, and we'll definitely think about them during Thanksgiving this year. God bless you all. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Stinnett. Next item is adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
This meeting is adjourned.